Come out to the bar.
Hello YouTube, cheers and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
The Basement Debates is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we talk on the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family. We gotta talk about Mysonne's Funk Flex Freestyle.
The new one now, not the one from last year.
Make the distinction, brother, because this one, the one from last year was dead nice.
Crazy.
This one,
May even topped it.
Over the top.
Maybe, I don't know, let's talk about it.
Well, let's rank. So this is the question. It was dead nice, I loved it, but Black Thought's been there. You right? You also got freestyles all over the world, from the one that Big Crit did, the Leakers. You got King Los 2 different times at Sway in the Morning.
Right.
Where does this new freestyle rank? Let's put our thinking caps on.
All time?
All time.
Okay.
Freestyles, anywhere that you can find them. I know there's a lot to go through, but there's a few that stick out in your head. Where does this rank? With that being said, Lego?
You know it's a classic freestyle because it's one of those freestyles you want to kind of draw back to and be like, I was in the basement when I first heard that one joint. That type of thing. Like,
yeah.
And
that's happened
I remember
a few times though.
Seeing Bruce's face when I played the mics, and he had one of those looks like, yo, this guy just did something special. I posted it on my Facebook, and if you guys haven't seen it, go tune in. I'm not sure what number of freestyle that is for Flex, but the Mysonne freestyle. He's with Fat Joe. Obviously, you just type in Fat Joe and Mysonne Flex freestyle, and Fat Joe wasn't slacking either.
One question: when we say freestyle, does this have to be just on radio, or is these also on wax? Can we put the legendary Big L freestyle, the one that everybody knows, on the Clue tape?
I mean,
could that be in it?
It's a hip hop show, man. Yeah, if and we might not touch this subject again for a while. So y'all put whatever freestyles, and my history, my database goes back that far. So y'all go back however far y'all need to, man, because I'm up on all of it. I had all those Clue tapes. I had all those SNS tapes. I had all those doo-wop tapes, so.
The big freestyle on the Clue tapes.
I know the freestyle you talking about with L and Jay-Z, actually. That's the timeless one, obviously, for obvious reasons. Jay-Z being the biggest to ever do it, and L probably the most underrated or biggest not to ever, blow, but neither here nor there. If y'all think that's the best freestyle of all time, let us know, but
where does this one rank?
The Mysonne joint, I'm gonna tell you, like, for him to go up there and actually outdo what he did the last time, that's special inside of itself. Like, that goes to show you what type of an MC he is. Like, he could have came up there and just spit something light, filled in the time and said, the heck with it, people know who I am, I'm with Fat Joe, whatever, Flex, whatever, but he got up there, and not only did he outshine or overshadow what it was Joe's freestyle or whatever, I think he really, like, if you look at Joe's facial expression through that, like,
yeah, he was like, whoa.
Forget Flex, because, Flex is night and day. Like, Flex, he
ride whatever.
Right. We seen what happened with his last, in Mysonne's last freestyle. He ended up apologizing to a bunch of gangsters. So, that's neither here nor there. But Fat Joe, however, who we turn to as a face of hip hop, period. East Coast hip hop, gangster rap, all of that, you know. He was like, and this is somebody who's from the same borough, same area. They kind of grew up in the same time, Mysonne and Fat Joe. They know probably the same people in the Bronx. Like, so I said that to say that this is not the first time he's heard Mysonne before. But this freestyle right here, over a Jay-Z beat, might I add.
Newer version of Huey P. Flex, can you agree that I did what I told you? Absolutely. I came up here and I shifted the culture. They listening closer, they rhyming different, they done switched their approach. Over 444, tell me I inspired that. I'm flattered, but I ain't really buying that. But what I will say is they wasn't jacking that kind of rap before I came up here. Stop me where I'm lying at.
It was crazy. It was crazy. All time, take off my hat and scratch my head for that. I would go ahead and give him top 3. However you choose to chronicle that, if you agree with that, then that's fine. But you know, it may only be a few freestyles I heard more potent, more in depth, more informative, in rhythm, and that may be the only part that he lacked on. Was on occasions he was outside of the beat because of so much information that he was providing for you. It's kind of like words coming off the page in a book. Like, it almost got sloppy because the words were coming off the page of the book. Like,
right.
Which, you know, depending on who you are and how you like your hip hop, that's not a bad thing.
So top 3,
and I would say, you know, that, you know, you just kind of reminded me. You got that classic timeless freestyle with L and J.
Right.
And maybe a Pap freestyle in between there. I know Pap had a couple of crazy ones. I know when he was at Sway, when he was at Flex, and even the early ones with the DVDs with K Slay and all of that. Like, but yeah, all the rest, you know, and that's no disrespect to the King Loses, the Menses that came and did their thing. But they kind of pale in comparison. Even the Black Thought one, because like I said, this one with Mysonne, the last one was crazy. The last one was crazy because it's kind of a book and a manual as to what's going on inside our culture with the steps it took, where hip hop may have degraded or devalued itself, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all inside of his first freestyle. This one gave solutions and resolve to where we at in the black community. As far as OGs giving young guys guns and
recognition. I rep for dudes sitting in prison with 90-something did numbers. Them 90-summers took some of our closest friends from us. You see, that's how they want us. Beef and feuding among us, chasing the fame, wearing the same chains that hung us. Then they lock us up for the same cane that brung us. We gotta change the game, but just maintain the hunger. They done traded in principle for designer. Your right-hand man might kill you for some vagina, and the so-called G's give pistols to the minors. And this.
So for me, top 5 all time, if we're including mixtapes, because we have to put the one with Big L and Jay-Z. That's why I said that, because that's whenever I think of best, that's somewhere in there, and that's somewhere in the top 3. Of course, Thought is in there, but let me be honest with you. There's a few other ones. Biggie had a freestyle on a Clue tape at the end of Clue's crew, at the end of the whole DJ Clue thing, and I can't remember what it is. If y'all remember this one, that one went crazy.
On the Road to the Riches.
That one right there, this Mysonne joint was so good that I was willing to put it above all of those, except for historical significance. Only because of who Mysonne is, his lack of albums, only because he's just now getting the shine that he probably should have gotten 10 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago maybe. And so it won't be as historically significant as that one with Big L, as the one with Biggie, as whatever. Him and King Los, because of what King Los does, 100% off the top of the head, 15 minutes at a time, 5 Fingers of Death turn into 25 different beats, throwing out songs, throwing out lyrics, throwing out words, throwing out letters, and just rhyming off the top non-stop. He's done it for entire videos. If it wasn't for that, him and King Los, to me, is a dead tie. Wherever you put them in that top 5, him and King Los is a dead tie. That may be the most controversial thing about what I have to say, because not a lot of people are gonna look at Los lyrics and say, well, it doesn't hold a candlestick to what my song was saying about the community and the history. But what he does is second to none.
Let me make that distinction with the Los. The Los was appreciated because in this day of hip hop, in which the word freestyle obviously nowadays just means you spit over a different beat other than your own, with a different verse other than what we may have already heard. Could have been premeditated, written down, or whatever. We made Los's freestyle special because the origin of freestyling actually came from you being able and having the skill and ability
to go off the top of the head,
come right off the top of the dome,
and the cipher, as they call it,
as you go along.
Yeah,
as the beat plays, or maybe no beat at all. He was able to do that and showcase his ability to do that, which is rare nowadays.
For 20 minutes straight.
However, there's something to be said about the guy that chooses. We had a show about consciousness yesterday, and you heard me and Bruce go back and forth about who was more conscious and what did conscious mean. There's something to be said about the guy that did 7 years in prison for a crime that he didn't do, who knows the streets of the Bronx, who knows the dealers and the killers, and chooses to teach, enlighten, inspire, chooses to use his platform for the good fight and to try to steer the youth in a different direction than with the path that he went down.
A minute.
The
biggest difference is you say top 3, I say top 5, simply because I can think of 3 that already, because of historical significance and Mysonne's lack of such, which he's gaining now, we may look back on it and say something different if his career turns out to be what it could be. But historical significance has got to override even how dope it really was. But that's top 5 all time. It's not a bad rating.
The difference in a Los freestyle, and frankly with anybody else's freestyle compared to Mysonne's, if we're not talking about Papoose or the Big L joint I mentioned, and the Big L joint may just be nostalgia for me. That was actually in '95, I think.
Yeah, I think everybody, that's historical significance.
But no, not just nostalgia. Big L was one of the coldest rappers ever.
They went back and forth.
Big L, one of the coldest rappers ever to touch the microphone. So if for nothing else, the content may be outdated, but the rap skill and the rap ability that he showcases.
And no one else, I don't know anybody else who's even done freestyle like that, back and forth with somebody like they wrote it.
Still is still untouched, unmatched.
Yeah.
You know, when this is back when Jay would flip the tongue twister style and all. Big L would
come right back with it.
Oh man,
I never really seen that. There's been ciphers before. I haven't seen 2 people switch hit freestyle.
Like that ability to switch in and out of that style was crazy to me. But he dropped jewels in that song, and I'm still trying to think of the other jewel that we was just talking about. The other jewel that he dropped. Like this is stuff that you can actually live by. You can teach your kids this stuff and feel pure and good and wholesome about yourself. You can go and teach your son or your daughter these jewels that he's putting in the raps.
Yeah, and this is not hate if it's true.
This is
it's only hate if I lied. I didn't lie.
That's Bruce right there.
Yeah.
Like yo man.
Now they say you sound like a hater sometimes. I say nah. I tell the the truth. It's only hate when you lie.
That's the truth.
It's only hate.
Yeah, that's not. We've gotten lost into that. We've gotten lost into that, and like I said, him just like I said, dropping those type of jewels is so much appreciated. It's so much refreshing. I could talk about it all day, but I know we have a time limit.
Yeah, we already went over the past
top three
shows.
freestyles of all time.
We're gonna bring it back down.
Just says one of the more classic freestyles of all time. I think
top
we
five.
both agree with that. We may have them ranked differently, but it's definitely a classic freestyle.
Where do you rank it? Go listen to it if you haven't heard it. Make sure that you make the distinction between the old one and the new one. Definitely best freestyle of this year. Period. No matter what anybody has to say. Probably. For me, definitely better than Black Thought's joint, even though that was crazy good. So that's why he's top 5 all time with that one. You guys check it out. Where do you put him? Leave those comments because you know we shout you out. And the proof of that is right now. KKOKE, right? I don't know what that really means, if it's Koki or whatever. I don't want to say it. I'm going to say Kevin. KKOKE Kevin said Tupac was a real thug. So what if he shot himself? At least he was trying to bang it out, hair trigger style. That's what's up. The major question is, why are we bringing it up? He's dead. I don't like the fact that your boy brought that up in the first place, but you're right. You got it. KKOKE Kevin, you got your shout out. Serious Music 1 said nice, and we appreciate that. Salute to you. J-Dog 901 with some more 100 marks. Just a bunch of 100s, and you know what? We appreciate you. Mozart said Big Crit is not conscious. He's just personal. I don't agree that Crit is better than Brother Ali either. I said it, and I know that's. Thank you, Mozart. That's what I was saying. Oh, Mozart, that was you. You got to shout out My Tribe TV, All Out Attack, because I have to say Nip, J. Cole, and Kendrick. Nas is very important when he is out, a living legend. Right on, brothers. Okay, I'm guessing you're saying who's conscious rappers. You say all of those are conscious
J.
rappers.
Cole and Kendrick is very important when he is out, living legend.
Nas is very important.
Right on, bro.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what the point we were saying yesterday, and which is why I made the distinction. The title was, who's the better conscious rapper?
The better conscious rapper.
See, because if you,
I just say he's not a conscious rapper.
If you sat back and said he's more conscious, that's a debate that can go on that can never end.
So listen, My Tribe TV, All Out Attack also said, recommended a topic, best lyrical rapper today. So I wrote you back, and I don't know if you saw it, but if you're watching this, please define lyrical rapper, because we went through this when we was talking about Nas versus who?
Tragedy.
Gaddafi. So Nas versus Tragedy, Gaddafi. We have to define what you mean by lyrical rapper today. Define that, and we got that topic for you, and we'll do it. You know how we do. This is the basement, people. Thank you for watching. If we didn't get to shout you out yet, simply because I haven't seen your comment yet, you know you're getting a shout out tomorrow. Anything else?
We out of here.
Peace.